Good morning and welcome. Well, good evening and welcome to Real Talk with Tamara. As you guys come into the room, please hit the like button. Also, if you have not subscribed to the channel, please do subscribe to the channel. I want you guys to know how much I appreciate you so much. All of your emails, all of your calls, all of your text messages, even if I don't get the opportunity to respond, just know that I get them and I appreciate you. I've been on the run so much. I don't know if I'm coming or going some days, okay? Of course. But I do appreciate you guys. I want to thank all of my subscribers for being supportive, all of my old subscribers, all of my new subscribers, and all of my future subscribers. I give you guys gratitude as you start to, before you even come, right? I wanted to talk about Young Dolph. I was working on something else, another video. I had the opportunity to sit down and work on another video completely different. And I thought about, Young Dolph. I kind of logged on Instagram, you know, and I saw where Key Glock and them are on tour and Kenny Money and Jay Fizzle and all of them. And I see Snoop Bands and them are doing their thing. And then I ran up on the video Love for the Streets, and I got the opportunity to look at that video in fullness, right? And it's really a nice video showing all of his cars, everything that he had amassed. And one thing about Young Dolph represented. He was like the poster child for coming from nothing. He says, "I was a crack baby, came from nothing, and left this world with everything." Right? Um, I don't know why, even though he and my dad come from different worlds, I just kind of, I don't know, kind of equated that. Although Young Dolph was way richer than my dad, I believe, but I just I just kind of, compared them in that moment, right? And I thought about, Young Dolph is still winning, right? I thought about he's still winning, and the lesson in this. And I get to thinking about our community as I sit up at night and I start, continue on with, what my dad had left behind. My stepmother had given me a lot of his notes and things of that nature, of things that he was putting together so that I could my sisters and I could continue on with that. And I think as I start thinking about the agendas and the programs and stuff that he was writing up so that we could put out there for the community, I thought about, I decided to also talk about the lesson in this, because there's still a lot of young dudes out there that's wilding out, but there's an opportunity for them to change their lives around before it's too late, right? And so I thought about, Young Dolph, even though he's not here, what you have to understand is jealousy is what got Young Dolph out of here. When people when they get through saying, a person, he talked too much or he said this, a person can say whatever they want to say. And the thing that kills me is these older dudes, these OGs, is the reason why I stay on top of their heads. Because if you're in your 30s and old, in your 30s and up, you know better, right? They know that it is not against the law for a person to say what they want to say. It is against the law for you to think that you can kill a person to make them stop saying what they want to say. And what is happening, the lesson in this is they're sending these young dudes out, okay? And they're messing up lives, just like they messed up Straight Drop's life is messed up. Cornelius's life, although Cornelius was a little older, and a lot of these other people that's going to be arrested, regardless to what I say or anybody else say, uh, what's going to happen can't be stopped, because that's in the hands of the FBI and the police. I don't understand why anybody, see, having money can be a little tricky, right? When people start gathering around you like you're God, and they won't say, they doing things for folks with money that they wouldn't even do for their mama. They mama asked them to do it. They telling her no. They almost to cuss her out. They won't even do it for their children. But somebody that they think got some money, they're on their knees willing to do anything, to include destroy their very own lives. I was looking at a post that somebody had posted the other day, and I believe I was looking at Big 30's page, where somebody was saying that Big 30 was their big bruh, and I know if I go to jail, he got bond money. And, it's a darn shame that you still got young men in their 20s that have not been taught anything. Because when you talk about bond money, first of all, it's up to a judge if you're going to get a bond. You might not even get a bond. Okay. That's number one. Number two, he said, I know he's going to have my lawyer money. Hey, just because they forget, just because somebody might get you a lawyer at some point, you still have to go through a trial and you still ain't going to get off. Right. So I think a lot of people got the issues confused. And there's a lesson in this because they're intending to get everybody that was involved in this Young Dolph's case from the vlog, from the payers on down to the vloggers. I'm telling you what I know. Okay. And I don't know any petty criminal that has ever been able to go up against the FBI and win, okay? Especially with the type of intelligence that I'm hearing that's out there in these streets, right? And even with all that these people have done, whoever they were to try to stop Young Dolph, he's still winning, so they may as well have left him alone, right? And that's why I get proud, I get sad when I think about his children, because he was so he adored his children so much. You know what I mean? He adored them, and his children adored him. He had a woman that he loved. He had a family that loved him. Young Dolph spoke about how he took care of a lot of people. But unfortunately, people just did not want to see him win. They were so jealous that they thought that their life would be better off with him being in the grave. And it's frustrating a lot of these people to the point where they still sending simps out to go, well, you go take care of that person. They talking too much. You go take care of that person. And the FBI watching them everywhere they go, but they don't care. These simps got children and everything else. And I keep telling them, I'm trying to help them. The FBI said, ain't nobody going to spend no hit money but the lawyer. But it's unfortunate that a lot of these people are willing to turn their back on their children, to turn their back, because in the end, ain't nobody gonna be studying you but your mama, because a lot of your kids gonna be angry at you for going out choosing another man or another group of people or some money over them when you're in jail for the rest of your life. So the lesson in this is that a lot of people need to wake up and see, ain't nobody really messing with you. And that goes for me or anybody else. Folks will send you out and they still ain't really messing with you, especially when the heat gets hot. These people know that the folks is on them and it ain't nothing that they can do about it. And they sending out pathetic people dangling money in their faces because they saying folks will do anything for some money. I don't care what the FBI do to them. They'll go do anything for some money. Folks will sit up and go and try to take some money to go do a hit, right? That they know they ain't gonna get away with. They'll set their own selves up. You'll pay me $300,000 to shoot myself. Okay, I'll do it. And it ain't registered in their brain. I'm gonna be dead as a damn doorknob. Okay. Okay. So the lesson in this is that people need to wake up and love themselves more and get about the business of taking care of their family and doing it right, doing it the right way. Because trying to destroy somebody else is going to be a domino effect. First of all, it's going to backfire. And then it's going to be a domino effect because you can't win when you do it dirty, especially when you're trying to take people away from their family members. You just ain't going to win because God ain't going to let you win. And look at this, Young Dolph is still winning. Okay, he's ascended to another dimension, got more domain over all of these low vibrational fools that still left down here to deal with what they did to him, right? And people try to play bad to the end and they don't want to back down. They want to make you think, well, I don't care. I did it. They don't want you to know how they're suffering, right? And so they project this image to a lot of these young adults that has already had bad guidance, right? Because they are the future. And I stay on the heads of these OGs because they ought to be ashamed of themselves. And all of some of them ought to be ashamed anyway. You fuck nigga if you're sitting up talking about you some damn shade tree hit man. You are good for nothing fuck nigga. Okay. Excuse my French. I had to let that out. I'm South Memphis. Okay. I get mad every time I think about it. Instead of trying to build something, genuinely build something. If you're out there in the street and you call yourself getting money some kind of way other than doing his, you ought to be trying to be smart and build you something so you can leave a legacy for your kids. Instead, people get too comfortable, with being on their knees taking crumbs. Okay, and they never building nothing, just pathetic. Okay. But even in the afterlife, he's still winning. And guess what? He ain't going nowhere because he's walking right around making sure that there is justice for him. I told y'all about 3 weeks ago, I had a dream about young Dolph. And in my dream, he had a car. He was right out in front of City Hall in downtown Memphis. He was standing in his car door. And I was about to walk away from him. And he said, "Come back. Don't think because I haven't been down there with y'all that I don't want to be around y'all, but I've been working." And he started naming all the things that he was like, "I gotta do this, I gotta do that." Like he was naming all the stuff that he was doing because he was busy. And when I woke up, I was like, "Dog, you know." And I've never met young Dolph other than one time at the Debo's Chicken House, and he told me, if asked me if he could buy my chicken, buy my food if I listened to his album, and he did that for everybody that walked in. Right, he was sitting right in the chicken house. He knew how to market. Right, he had a determination because he wanted to be successful, and he figured out the recipe. And we collectively, I'm talking about a bunch of dime store hoods collectively, because they were jealous, work hard to make a fool out of some misguided young folks to take him out, all because of jealousy. Y'all, we got to stop doing this in our community. Okay, don't get mad at young Dolph because he learned a recipe. Get like him or get lost. That's my favorite thing. I tell my kids in a minute when they get mad at me. I said, "Don't get mad, get lost. Go on somewhere. If you can't handle it, don't get mad, get like me, or get lost." Okay. But it's people are so mentally sick. Okay. They'd rather see somebody taken out, and it's from these old niggas, old rusty, crusty ass niggas, sending destruction back to the black communities. And I'm going to stay on top of your damn necks. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. Because if you're an old fool and you ain't trying to get no wisdom, you ought to be croaked. You're supposed to be teaching these little dudes the recipe so that they could leave a legacy behind. Instead, folks so pathetic. It's just about me and mine. I don't want, first of all, they signing these young dudes because they got the talent, because they jealous of them. You 65 years old, that's sign them and shelf them because I had wants to still be a rapper. Nigga, you done had your day. You been through 40 years ago. But you can sign them and still make money off of them, because it ain't nothing wrong with making money off of them. You're supposed to. The thing about it is they want to make all the money off of them and leave them greedy and desperate. And leave them broke, busted, and disgusted and desperate, and ain't teaching them the recipe. And that cycle is being repeated in our community. And I don't care what nobody say. God uses anybody. He can use anybody that's willing to be used. And young Dolph was willing to allow God to use him. These record labels is Pharaoh, okay? And God had raised young Dolph up to help gave him the mind to learn the recipe to help to break the chains of what the record labels was doing. God says, "Pharaoh, let my people go." And so God will raise up somebody to fight Pharaoh in any aspect, okay? Whether it's teaching them education, teaching them how to read, helping them to find their self-worth, teaching them about finance, anything, okay? But instead of appreciating it, we had a bunch of cuckbug heads that wanted to take him out, right? Because of their jealousy. And so what these dudes need to, and I have been saying since last year, I said, y'all, I said, y'all, they in back rooms now, way early last year. I said, I have been hearing that the death penalty might end up being on the table. Y'all, the folks knew what happened to young Dolph, you stupid ass niggas, while y'all still trying to plot. Okay, you better sit them little crumb snatchers that want some crumbs down, because they ain't gonna do nothing to make it worse for you. Okay. You ain't gonna be able to come from no other state and do no hit and go back. I'm telling you, it ain't gonna happen. Okay. But I have been saying, y'all, had heard something about the death penalty and they're secretly putting some stuff together and get ready to change some of these laws. Jim Strickland has started putting some stuff into the atmosphere, but Black people don't pay attention to that. I said, get your children and stop letting these OGs and these folks in the streets influence them. You instill some self-worth in them. Therefore, if they out in the street, they'll say, no, man, hell no. Go. You ain't going to do no hit for you. Go get your damn daddy to do it. Go get your mama to do it, nigga. Okay? Instead of feeling like, well, I want to be in the in crowd and I got to do this and mess their life up. I have been putting that into the atmosphere and look at what's happening. Okay? So the lesson in this is that a lot of the righteous people got to start back instilling self-worth in their children, because we see now that a lot of these OGs ain't worth a damn, right? But God gonna deal with them, because a lot of them gonna have a heart attack and die. Mark my word. You can't keep misleading God's people. And these young dudes, even though they know better, they still young and messed up. They ain't had no guidance. Okay? Because God says Pharaoh got to let my people go. Okay. And it's a darn shame when God blessed some of these people to come up like Gotti and all of them. I know they don't like me talking about them, but damn, whoever don't like it. I got to speak the truth. I ain't gonna sit on here and not speak the truth. Okay. Because this time that's the problem now. Everybody wanna, they want something in their mouth. They want a pacifier, or they want to suck on somebody's breast. I ain't had no milk in my breast in over 20 years. I can't put mine in your mouth. And even if I had some milk in it, I wouldn't put it in your mouth. If you is in your damn 20s and 30s, especially your 30s and 40s and 50s, still talking about you need a pacifier or a bottle in your mouth, you retarded. Okay? You need to take your ass on down to Lakeside. Okay? But it's a darn shame that people in our community don't know how to chew on meat. They want some Gerber baby food. They can't take the meat. Okay? You chew this damn meat up and swallow it and get some damn wisdom. Okay? It's a darn shame what is going on in our community, where people don't want to speak the truth. People are not righteous anymore. They don't want to do right. They jump out here and do things that's going to mess up their lives for the rest of their lives. And then their mothers or their children, they're left to suffer the brunt, while the person that sent you out to do it, living their life and gone on, want to disassociate themselves from you as soon as they feel like the coast is clear. So the lesson in this is we got to stop doing crazy stuff. And it's time for the righteous OGs to step back up and step in. And even if you hear an OG trying to misguide some of these young brothers, you need to tell them, man, you wrong. We can't do that. It's time for people to start speaking up. Because guess what? In taking Young Dolph out, they didn't stop nothing. The man's still winning. He's still winning in death. And that ain't just a Young Dolph's thing. That's a God's thing. God is showing them. And that's somebody that they can't come up against. I see his artists are thriving and doing well. I get very proud of his artists. Okay, because I know they had nothing to do with what happened to him. None of them. It makes me proud. And even in that, you see the devil, start seeing the devil trying to raise its ugly head, as if they're trying to put some more stuff into the atmosphere. But hey, I think the type of stuff they put into the atmosphere is great material for the FBI, because they want to get all of them anyways. Okay. So don't mess yourself up thinking you messing somebody else up, because ain't nobody getting away with no hits. I don't care what fool you send out. He just gonna either be dead or he gonna be josing upstate for the rest of his life broke, you simp. Since y'all so quick to want to be sent out. But the lesson in this is that our people need to change our mindsets, whether it's our people or some of these others that's behind them that's sending them out and giving them money. It ain't worth it. It ain't worth it. Instead of trying to be jealous, instead of trying to take somebody out because you're jealous of them, why don't you get some discipline about yourself? Okay? If you want it, go get it, but go get it the right way so that you can keep it. Because when you build sand houses, the first wind that comes along is gonna blow it down anyways. Okay, if you don't get it right, you can't keep it. But he's still winning. Okay, he's still winning. People still love him. His artists are still representing, and that makes me feel good. But I get to thinking about how, it bothers me so much. Like I said, as I started looking at a lot of the things that we're getting ready to do for some of these young adults, and I go, well, even though we want to help the young adults, those that can be helped, you have to think about some of all of these young adults are a product oftentimes of their environment, right? You can try and help somebody young that really wants to be helped, and you're with them maybe a couple hours or 3 hours a day, but they still have to go. If they're coming from a toxic environment, they in there almost 24 hours a day. So whatever you're teaching them is going straight out the window oftentimes, y'all. That's why I say get up off of the drugs, okay? Get up off of the drugs. People are just too comfortable with their brain being fried. Okay, a lot of these folks' brains is scrambled eggs because they always want to suck on some type of pipe or some type of drug. Okay, and so because they're doing it, people wonder why these young kids thinking it's okay to get on these drugs. It's because what a lot of them are seeing at home. They think that it's okay. They think that it's normal, and it's not, y'all. We got to stop failing the younger generation and our youth. We got to stop doing that. You got to care. People want to, a lot of folks don't care about their own kids, and they definitely don't care about sending out somebody else's child. They think it's funny. But you definitely going to reap what you sow. Okay, you definitely going to reap what you sow. We got to have the righteous men back. We got to have righteous women. We just got to be righteous so that our community, the Black community, can start to rise up and come up out of bondage. Okay, but even in death, young Dolph is still winning. He's still winning, and he's still fighting. His death ain't in vain. Young Dolph's spirit is too strong for him to even allow his death to be in vain. Ain't nobody gonna be able to stop his artist. You know why? Because his spirit is even stronger. Them Negroes that think that they're plotting hits on his artist ain't gonna be able to prosper with that. Because God says no weapon formed shall ever prosper. Okay? So he's even stronger in the spiritual world. And they need to be scared of him now more so than ever, because he's in a higher dimension. They ain't gonna get away with nothing. So y'all, we gotta straighten up in our community. But he is definitely winning, and it makes me proud. I hate that he could not have been here to continuously revel in his success and just kind of kick that knowledge that he was kicking and help other young men to with financial success, with their family, to be able to provide for their families and things of that nature. I hate that he cannot do that, but I'm praying that God will continuously raise his artists up, and they'll carry on even that legacy. I see them carrying on the legacy in the music, but I hope that they also carry on that financial literacy as it relates to the record companies also, and God keep them protected, because we already know Pharaoh, you black cuckabug heads are being sent out. We know that. But we already know the real pharaohs don't want that, because they got to be able to pimp even the people that they're using to keep their community, right, in bondage. Okay. But anyways, I wanted to talk about that. I can go on and on, but I was working on another video that I'm going to drop, of course, on something I was working on, completely opposite from this though. So I'm gonna get off of here and finish that. But I just had to stop and talk about that, you guys. We definitely got to do better. But rest in peace to Young Dolph. I'm very, still very proud of Young Dolph, and definitely very proud of his artists. Okay. I want you guys to please like, share, and subscribe. If you would like to support the channel, you can definitely support the channel via Cash App. I love you guys. I'll talk with you later.